morning, guys. GradysMom here with Cooking Series Volume 16. This is a crock pot recipe. However, you could probably make it, or you could definitely make it on the stove top if you don't have a crock pot. But instead of the 6 hours in the crock pot, you would want to do about 2 hours on a simmer on your stove top. I just personally like to make it in the crock pot because it's just one of those things I can throw everything in and literally forget about it. Now, this is a recipe that I've just made so many times that it doesn't really have an official name, but I guess I'm going to start just calling it like a white turkey goulash. The reason I'm calling it white goulash is there's no tomato in it. And the traditional goulash does have tomato. So for this recipe, you're going to need some ground turkey and then a bunch of non-tomato vegetables. So I use mushrooms, celery, I have some Napa cabbage. You could use regular cabbage as well. Some tricolor peppers, a cooking onion, just about half an onion, a zucchini. You're going to need some canned beans here, the white cannellini beans. Pasta is for later because we're going to serve it over pasta. You're going to throw in kale at the end. You're not going to throw kale in the beginning because it'll just be mush, so I put the kale in the last half hour. And as far as the sauce, you're going to use chicken broth, some parsley, some seasoned salt or an all-purpose salt, or just salt and pepper would be fine as well. I use crushed red pepper flakes for some heat, but that is totally optional, especially if you're serving this to kids. You're going to need some bay leaves. You're definitely not going to want to skip the bay leaf. You need the bay leaf in this recipe. I have some chopped garlic. You can use fresh garlic as well. And again, we serve this dish over pasta. I am just using these two, which is a penne with lines and a corkscrew. I'm only using these because I'm starting to compile a bunch of different baggies of pasta, and I don't like to let that get out of control where I have like 10 different bags. So whenever I make a recipe with leftover pasta, I just put it in a Ziploc and then I label the cooking time. So this one is 11 to 12 and this one is 11. So I try to find ones that are real close in boiling time, and then I'll just use these two to serve this over. So I'm going to go ahead, get my meat browning up. While that's happening, I'm going to get my veggies prepped, throw it all in the crock pot, and show you how easy it is to set this up. Okay, so I have my turkey broken up, just used a wooden spoon to break it all up and spread it out in a big pan. It'll just cook a lot more evenly and quickly if you break it up. So this is just working. Going to get started on my veggie prep. Okay guys, so turkey meat's browned up. There wasn't really any fat to drain, which is nice. I have all my veggies prepped, minus the kale, which we're going to add at the end, on this big plate. Time to season the meat. And then I have my beans drained and cleaned right in the sink there in a colander. So let's go ahead and put this together. Okay, so here is my crock pot. First, what we're going to do is get the turkey meat in. Fully cooked. Next, I'm going to throw my beans in. And next, we are going to put the seasonings in. So I'm going to do a good amount of parsley. I'm going to do some seasoned salt. That much. A little tinge more. So let's call that a teaspoon. I'm going to do some red pepper flake. Again, this is optional because this does add some heat. I'm going to do about that much, guys. I don't know, quarter teaspoon, maybe a third of a teaspoon. Again, if you don't have that seasoned salt, you can just use salt and pepper, which is perfectly fine. Next, we have some of this chopped garlic. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of that. Maybe just a little bit more than that for good measure. I really like garlic. So that goes in. You want your 2 bay leaves. I'm going to do a little guy. Maybe I'll do 3. So I did 2 little and 1 big. Okay. And then lastly, chicken broth. This is a 32-ounce container. So I'm just going to pour that in right over top. And this will be thicker than a soup and thinner than a stew. So some would call that a stoop, but I just call it a goulash. Grab a big spoon. And get this stirred together really quick. Just easier to stir it without the veggies in there. Doing it this way. Okay, looks pretty good. Now we're going to add in our veggies. Okay, and then just sort of work that in. And these will cook down a lot. Now you can serve this, again, like me, over pasta. You're not a pasta household, you could serve it over white rice, brown rice, barley, quinoa, or if you don't want to serve it over something, you could throw in a chopped potato at the end, the last hour, and just serve it kind of stew style, because the potato will suck up some of that broth. Actually, it will suck up a good amount of the broth, even one potato. So this looks pretty good, guys. You just want to make sure it's all combined like this. And it's not supposed to look brothy, as you can see. It's not supposed to look brothy because it's not a soup. And it won't dry out because the veggies all have their natural moisture in it. And it will just work together really well. Just going to kind of get it in there evenly. Like that. I think I'm just going to do one more shake of the seasoned salt right over the top. And that's it. So I'm just going to get this in the crock pot and set it up. Okay, so crock pot insert is in the crock pot. I am now going to turn it on. We're going to do low for 6 hours. Start. Put the lid on. Now again, the last half hour I'm going to throw in kale. I'm going to throw in 2 cups of kale the last half hour. Probably stir this halfway through, get my pasta going, so I will take you along for the whole process to show you when to put the kale in, when to put the pasta in, not in here, but put the pasta in the water. And that's it. So set it and forget it. Awesome meal, and just keep watching. Alright guys, so we got about 2.5 hours left and I just got home. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Smells good, I know that. Grab a spoon here. Oh yeah, can't get too close because it'll fog up. Oh, it smells so good. So I just give it a nice stir. It's thickening up perfectly and cooking down nicely. So just one nice little stir like that. Don't waste too much time on it. And looks pretty good. Smells delicious. And then we're going to put the lid back on. And we'll see you in a couple more hours. Alright guys, so there's a half hour left. I just took the lid off. I removed the bay leaves. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the kale. So I'm going to add roughly 2 cups. It's not exact because kale is very bushy and it's always hard to gauge exactly how much is going in, but I'm putting in roughly 2 cups. Okay. I'm just going to throw that in. It's going to wilt down to nothing, and I'm just going to kind of push it down a little bit into the mixture, and then just kind of fold it in a little bit. You don't have to spend all that much time doing it. You just want to get it into the liquid. I apologize, this is as close as I can get without it completely fogging up. Okay, so we're going to have, I'm going to put the lid back on for another half an hour, and then we will be done. In the meantime, I am going to get my pasta water boiling for the pasta. Okay guys, so the dish is done. Looks like that. Kale wilted nicely. And then I have my pasta in my colander ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and plate it all up. Okay, so I just put the pasta on the bottom, a few scoops of the turkey goulash on top, and now I'm just grabbing some Parmesan cheese and some black pepper. I just like to put a little bit of black pepper on top, and then I like a good amount of Parmesan cheese, but this is optional. Some people don't like Parmesan. We do. So I like a nice generous sprinkle all over the place. And it's just a perfect hearty meal that I think most people would really enjoy. So, and it is actually pretty healthy too, guys, if you think about it, with using the leaner turkey meat and all the vegetables, and it's just a really delicious and easy one. Again, 6 hours on low in your crock pot. If you wanted to make it on your stove top, you would do it the same exact way, but you would just cook it for 2 hours on your stovetop, probably on a temperature between low and medium, just on a nice simmer, and you'd have to obviously keep a watchful eye on it and stir it much more frequently. I hope you guys enjoyed volume 16, the white turkey goulash. Have a great day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, guys.